tell me, you are a risk taker. What I've done stuff that a lot of people consider very risky. I would never get up close to a great white shark and try to hand feed it. Have you done that?
I have, but I stopped doing that. I don't want a great white shark to relate human as food. So what I ended up doing is I did something different. I have a little white disc about this big. Of course, what is the color of fish meat underwater? It's white. And so I would have a white disc, and the white shark, one particular white shark that I ended up being a big fan of, and I want to forgive me for saying this, but I felt she was a friend. I loved her, and I dove with her for about 20 years. Her name was Spots, and
Where was she? Was she just circulating one area that you frequented?
well, I would see her every year off Guadalupe. Um, but I had this white disc, and she would come up and she would identify the white disc as me, and she'd come up and she'd test bite the white disc, and she'd realize it's not food, but she had to test it.
Uh-huh.
And I would swim alongside, and I'd just grab onto her pectoral fin or dorsal fin. By the way, pectoral fin at the base was 8 inches. Big, big. It's like hanging onto a giant. And but she was a sweetheart. When I first touched her, she flinched. And this is a 3,000 plus pound animal. And when I touched her, this 200-pound monkey touches her, and this 1.5 ton animal flinches like, oh my God, don't hurt me. I thought that was extraordinary. And so I scratched her on the back as she went by, and then she came back, and she took another test bite of the circle, and I rode on her back, and she didn't speed up, she didn't try to shake me, she didn't try any movement. She just accepted the fact that I was a naked monkey remora, and she took me for a little cruise and dropped me off right next to the cages about 10 minutes later or less, about 8 minutes later.
And the first time that you experienced this head on, face to face with one of these gigantic sharks that has the potential to end your life like that, how did you feel?
You know, some sharks are sweet, like a dog that you can pet, and then there's other dogs that that if you try to pet them, they're going to bite you. So some sharks are dicks, and so you just take the time in the shark cage where you're safe, and you
Uh-huh.
coach them over time,
Oh, I
and you get
see.
to learn who they are, and you get to learn their mannerisms. And I found out that when Spots was around, who's a very large female, she's 16 feet, and when she was around, all the males were far away. They didn't come anywhere near her because they were half her weight, and so she was the dominant animal. The males were more aggressive and would hurt you. So you never ever got out of the cages when there were males around. There was one male that was different. His name was Shredder, oddly enough, but he was the sweetest of all the males. And we would pet him as he went by all the time. We got some great pictures. We know Shredder because his dorsal fin has a big jagged edge out of it where another shark had bit it out, probably a female, which is why he evaded being close proximity to the females. But he was a sweet shark. But both Spots and I think Shredder were killed for their fins.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
We found Spot's body on the shore in Loretto,
With the spin off.
where she was caught accidentally with a pig's head on a welded hook suspended by a 55-gallon drum, which was anchored to the bottom. So that was an accident. And when they accidentally caught her, they could harvest her in Loretto. See, they're protected, but if you kill the animal, you can harvest it. So she was killed for her fins, and I've been heartbroken ever since. That's been almost 10 years ago.
Wow.
She was my friend for 20 years, and she was killed for her fins. So I take this personally.